WrestleMania 43 is scheduled for 2027 in Saudi Arabia. Here are my early match card predictions for the event. So let's get into it. Okay, so I'm going to go with Oba Femi versus CM Punk. So Oba Femi defeated Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 42. It is now clear, even more than it already was, how high WWE is on Oba, kind of giving him that sort of big win against Brock. Definitely means some big things are in his future, and they're planning to kind of book him as their next kind of top monster, which makes sense. So at WrestleMania 43, I'm expecting Oba to be involved in a big match and face off kind of a big main event level opponent, which would, I think, make sense just based on his trajectory. So the question is, who's it going to be? I think there's some good options, but right now I'm going to go with Oba Femi facing off against CM Punk on this show. I think that would be a really good match. Punk has put on some great matches with bigger talents who are bigger than him. Obviously, his match many years ago against Brock Lesnar immediately comes to mind that they put on an absolute classic, and I think that he could do the same with Femi here. So I'm going with CM Punk versus Oba Femi at this event. Maybe a world title's involved, maybe not. We'll kind of see how the year goes, but I think that that could be a really solid match. I am going to go with Cody Rhodes versus Braun Breaker. So I think that we could see Cody and Braun face off at this event. I feel like there's a really fun storyline here based on Cody and Braun's dads both being former kind of wrestling legends, with obviously Dusty Rhodes and Rick Steiner. So I think there's some sort of fun storyline that WWE can build towards this match, kind of referencing their dads and growing up in the wrestling business and all that stuff. So I think that is a feud that makes sense. And I also think that Cody kind of could use some fresh opponents. He's faced a lot of the top guys in WWE, and Braun is kind of seemingly moving into that main event level in WWE, it feels like, at least. So I could see him continuing to move up the card and potentially face off against Cody Rhodes at this event, and maybe one of the world titles involved for this. We'll have to wait and see, but my early prediction is Cody Rhodes versus Braun Breaker at WrestleMania 43. Okay, so I just want to start by saying it has made things a little bit murky with Bianca Belair now being pregnant, because I initially was going to predict Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley for this event, and obviously with Bianca having a baby, that's not going to happen. So I have to pivot here. I am going to go with Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky at this event. We have seen them face off a bunch already in their careers, but to be honest with you, I don't care. They always put on classic matches. Every time they're in the ring together, they seem to just put on a show and do amazing. So I definitely think that it would be a really good match if they face off again. I think that they deserve a big stage like WrestleMania for their next match. I think what WWE can do is kind of build the storyline of their friendship over the next several months, keep them together and aligned, and then eventually have one of them turn on the other and then have them face off for the title. So yeah, I'm going with Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley at this event, and I think it has the chance to be the best women's match in WWE history if they let them kind of show out. Okay, so up next I have Liv Morgan versus Raquel Rodriguez versus Roxanne Perez in a triple threat match. So Roxanne, Liv, and Raquel are all currently aligned right now, but I eventually see them splitting up and then facing off at this event. WWE can easily do a storyline where Roxanne and Raquel are both kind of jealous of Liv and her having the title, and this leads to them splitting up. And yeah, I think that could be fun. WWE could do just Roxanne versus Liv or Raquel versus Liv, whatever direction they want to go in a singles match. But I think it might be better as a triple threat and just kind of a trio, clash of styles, all that stuff. And I think the storyline could be good. So yeah, I'm going with Liv Morgan versus Raquel Rodriguez versus Roxanne Perez in triple threat. And this could involve a women's championship, or it could not, depending on kind of the storyline. Randy Orton has had a legendary career in WWE, but I kind of feel like it could be winding down. So I'm going to predict Randy Orton versus Gunther at this event. I just think that all the guys in kind of Orton's class, Brock Lesnar, John Cena, all those guys that came to WWE around the same time are starting to retire. So I feel like Randy is next here. He's still doing some good work, but I feel like he is going to be ending fairly soon, and I think a talent on his level deserves to end his career on the stage of WrestleMania, so I'm going to predict that Orton retires here. And if he does, I'm going to go with Gunther versus Randy Orton. These two have put on some great matches in the past, so that fits there. But then also, Gunther kind of has the gimmick where he is retiring WWE legends, so it makes sense for him to add another one to his list by defeating Randy Orton and officially ending his career. So I am going with Gunther versus Randy Orton happening at this event. Up next, I'm going to predict that we are going to get Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins in the main event. I originally had Roman Reigns versus The Rock, but I'm not convinced that The Rock is coming out of retirement. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe they throw a ton of money at him and he decides to come back. But as of now, I'm going to say that it's going to be Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins. Roman and Seth have a ton of history with one another. We've seen them face off several times before, but I just think both have grown so much in the past several years, and a singles match at WrestleMania is definitely needed before they both kind of retire. So I think this could be the perfect spot for it. I think that they would put on a really good match, and they would tear down the house. So yeah, I'm going with Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins for the world title in the main event of night 2. So there you have it. Those are some early WrestleMania 43 match card predictions. Let me know what you think is going to happen. Let me know what you think the main event is going to be. If you disagree with any of my picks, would love to hear from you. Would love to kind of chat with you in the comments. Please subscribe to this channel for more WWE pay-per-view predictions. And yeah, thanks a lot for watching.